This one is more of a price per dollar slash you really want to play pigs and you already been committed to pigs because a lot of people already had so many to hunt models and that kind of move that direction. Well, we made a list for that. Or in this case, we made sure that you can actually play if you bought the old combat patrol, for example. So let's say you're new, you got the Armageddon box, and you're like, okay, I wanted to get in combat patrol because it's a lot of models and I want some pig collection. Well, this is a kind of hybrid list. I made sure to incorporate the combat patrol that you get when if you were to buy the old one right now or you find one on discount somewhere. And then you also have the Armageddon box here, and then how you would support it with just some other units that aren't all necessarily just squig models. So these units apply to throughout the codex, and of course, if we get our 15 detachments, you want to have more other units. So I've seen, and this isn't as gimmicky as you would imagine, right? I know the first thing you're looking at, there's a Gorkanaut here. I know Gorkanaut doesn't apply to roll and death. I'm aware of this. It's still a transport, and throughout 10th edition, we've seen a lot of good potential and ability from Gorkanaut supplementing the hunt list because of the saturation of good toughness all over the battlefield. So the fact that you can use it as another transport and battle wagons, it made its way on the list for me. You can hold one of those 10-man units of Snagas, for example, or a unit of Gretchen to push an objective. So here we have Unit 1, which is a war boss and a pain boy, just a 10-man unit. That's something that I could put inside my Gorkanaut, for example, that I was thinking. And it can play its own side of the battlefield, try to hold behind an objective, really make the enemy commit forward, possibly to endure it, and then push. And those guys can actually disembark. So in this case, they could be in other transports as well because there's multiple, because there's also a battle wagon on this list. But I have a second unit that is a big boss with another 10-man unit of boys. Like I said, in this case, right, we were talking about the forced disposition. I started talking about the list so quickly. You can either choose priority assets or purge the foe. I am more looking for priority assets with this list, personally, but some people want to play purge the foe with the hunts. I personally think for this disposition mix, I would more push towards priority assets. And in that case, you are doing objectives. Sorry, are doing secondaries on objectives that are typically going to be in the middle of the battlefield. So I wanted it multi-purpose with these 10-man unit boys, where I can either use them for fights. If they're cheap enough, I can use them to do secondaries, or I can use them as OC kind of units as well. Sorry about that, guys. Then you have a beast boss with a proper killie as a 10-man unit of Snagaboys. There is total argument that you can make this a 20-man unit for the same reasons I mentioned throughout this entire video. So I don't have no issue with that, but because we're going off that combat patrol, we mixed it up. I might even push for that because in this detachment, you can fall back and charge. So once you get that big commitment off, and if you have everything else going on the battlefield and your snag survive, there's a chance you can re-engage and your beast boss is doing so much damage with proper killie, it might be worth it. So I'm really not opposed to just mixing both of these in to be one big break. But if you don't, then that means you have enough space in, for example, battle wagon where you can put a beast boss and a big boss in that battle wagon, because though I have kill rigs on this list, I don't necessarily always want to put units in the kill rigs in every matchup. I might make them play more of a monster type game where they're auto advancing 6, forward, and actually get involved in fights with auto advance and charge early, and then staging up different other units for the big push, like the wagon, the Gorkanaut, with their more prized units inside of them. So that's actually more how I'm looking at it. Then you have the Beast Boss and the Squigosaur. I put him on the side here because I think he does totally work on his own. He can also be put on the Squighog boys if you feel comfortable with how big the profile they take, and then give them enhancement for like +1 toughness, or sorry, sub -1 to hit when the toughness wounding them if their strength of the weapon is greater than their toughness. Sorry, I should say that real correctly. So you put that enhancement on them, but that costs more points. In this case, I moved them around because, like I said, I'm playing a more priority assets game anyways as it is. I want more stuff around. You have the Weird Boy because you're playing that same mission as I mentioned, so he's going to be looking to do more like action secondaries. If you can find some 10 points, and if you wanted to snick rat, sure, he would be better at it. But we have the Weird Boy because the box set, well, that's the way we could actually use him, so no issue with that. Before we jump back into the video, shout out to Monument Hobbies and their Pro Acryl paints. If you're an orc player, you already know the pain. of painting mobs of models, vehicles, bikers, walkers, too many lads at once. And that's why I like Pro Acryl. The paint is high quality, easy to work with, and comes with properly thin paint right out the bottle, which means less time fighting with your paints and more time getting your wall on the table. So whether you're a new org player and joining the Great Wall, or you're trying to finish another 20 gits before your event, and check out Pro Acryl paints from Monument Hobbies using my affiliate link in the description. It helps support the channel and no extra cost to you, because the faster you paint, the faster you wall. We have, like I already mentioned, the 10-man unit of Snaggas, which in this case, diverse places you could put them or play them on their own for the skirmishing. I'm totally good with that. We have the Big Mac Docker rig for more small arms fire alongside that Gorkanaut. It really is quite devastating on that go turn when you actually have this much firepower for screen clearing, and then all your chaff 10-man, your big OC bricks are running in there, your monster bricks, some squigs. It gets quite fun. 2 unit of Gretchen, same reason, priority assets, but you can also use one of those Gretchen inside one of your. Let's say you decide to put your Snaggas inside your kill rigs, you can put a unit of Gretchen inside your Gorkanaut. And then as the Gorkanaut's staging, the unit can then next turn disembark and start doing a priority asset or doing a secondary as a whole. Or they can end up holding the objective while the Gorkanaut moves forward, attacks the unit that would typically heroic them, and then they keep that objective as well. So there's multiple ways you can use Gretchen that they're still viable and they're fun in transports. 2 rigs, like I said, monsters, commandos. Personally, I still think you want that for this as well, because you want those that little action monkey units that can be playing around. But if you don't want them, you can just go for more, maybe find more ways to get more pigs on the list. Only 1 unit of pigs I put so far, because I'm not necessarily sold on a bunch of them, but also because I was just mentioning one combat patrol, and this list is supposed to be diverse enough that you can incorporate aspects of this to the prior detachments we showed, and or you're just expanding your collection and you don't want to be everything invested in just playing squig snag units. So there's walkers, there's bigger transport, there's boy mobs you could play, and everything in between. If you enjoyed the clip, check out the full video here. If you'd like to see more tactics, click here.
Let's get stuck in, lads!